Well, like I said, St. Mary's is, I think it's going to be over for them this year. I think Baylor, St. Mary's, they rode the horse. They did what they did. I thought they matched very well with Villanova, considering Villanova didn't have any big man.
Overrated.
And St. Mary's had a big man. I think now with Baylor, I think Baylor's just a little bit too deep for St. Mary's. But I think it's going to be interesting because if St. Mary's big man gets off a little bit and their guard plays excellent, they have a shot.
Well, I like that guy. I like Omar Sanahan. That's the big guy of St. Mary's. He had 61 points he had 61 points in his first two games in the tournament. I think he made a comment something like there's no great teams really left, so why can't we win it? And that's a really good sentiment. I just think Baylor is a team that he might have been overlooking when we were talking about great because Baylor came in as the number 3 seed. They've had a really successful season. And I think they're a team that, quietly has a chance to win it all. They definitely, I think, roll on to the Elite Eight over at St. Mary's. I think Cinderella kind of, the pumpkin changes tonight or whatever happens. I don't know. But all right, let's go up to the top of the South bracket. Purdue and Duke. Purdue is actually, Purdue lost their best player, Robbie Hummel. They've been playing without him for a while, but they struggled. They struggled a little bit against Texas A&M. They went to overtime, but everybody had them moving to Siena after Robbie Hummel got injured. So they're kind of overachieving a little bit, even though they're a 4 seed. What do you think? Duke 1 seed. They beat the play-in team. They smacked around Cal. What do you think?
This is the game.
Yeah, I think so.
I think this is the game. If you had a chance, this is the game where I can't pick no one because any given, I think Purdue can win, and I think Duke can win. It's whoever's hot.
Yeah, I think that's it. I mean, I think they're both. I think these are both 2 program type teams where the school itself has a system. You know how they're going to play. They have the kind of players that play in that system. And we'll see, which team can execute better on that particular day. But I do think you have to give a little bit of advantage to Duke. The little guard Shire is a pretty good outside player. But beyond that, again, Purdue doesn't have their best player, and this is the time of the season when having your best player is important. Yeah. So again, just like I think Michigan State's going to struggle without Lucas, I think Purdue might run against his match this week. But at the bottom of the East bracket, we got Washington and West Virginia. And West Virginia is really a sleeper team. They're coached by Huggins. He used to be in Cincinnati for a little while. Went to Kansas State for a little while. Actually, he was in Cincinnati for a long time. But West Virginia is a program that hasn't had a lot of success. It's one of the few Big East teams still left in the tournament. Man, they made a run. They kind of smacked around Missouri, I think. It was a close game early, but they came back and dominated. I think they struggled a little bit out of the gate with Morgan as well. But at the end, they ran. They won both of those games running away. Washington upset Marquette, one of the first Big East teams to take a bow, and they handily whipped the University of New Mexico, man. But Washington's the Pac-10 tournament champions, man. What do you think? You think Washington team is a team that's kind of maybe underachieved all regular season and now playing well during the tournament? Or do you like this, rough and rugged West Virginia team? You think they can pull something out?
Well, first of all, most likely, the Pac-10
weak
was very weak this year.
Mm-hmm.
So we didn't get to watch the Washington this year. I think Washington with the Isaiah Thomas boy, I think they're the team to really be careful when you play them.
Yeah,
if they're playing the way they're playing right now, they can win it too. They got a chance to win.
I agree. I think this is a team that kind of really you can understand why you disrespect them because they haven't played well all season. But I mean, it's a talented team. Yeah, it's a team that was expected coming into the season to do a lot better than they did. So, I think you're right. I think this is a team that is dangerous and one of those teams that we don't know enough about. And if they're hot at the right time, they can be dangerous. I like West Virginia a lot. I got them picked in my bracket, as a matter of fact. But I don't know, man. I kind of like this Washington team and how it's playing right now. I wouldn't be surprised at all if that's an upset. But speaking of upset, let's go into the last game, coming up. The last game in this Week 16, we got Kentucky, who probably by most people is considered the favorite to win the tournament now, going against one of the biggest Cinderellas of all, Cornell. The Ivy League has made it to the Sweet 16, man. Who you got in that one?
It's over. Okay, Ivy, you go back to the book. Pack your bags. Kentucky will roll. They will roll.
So, this is a team of freshmen now. Kentucky's there, John Wall, David Goins. I mean, those guys are young, and they obviously haven't been in this position before. They're going against a bunch of Cornell, and admitted they're brainiacs, they're smart guys, but, it's a team of seniors. And it's a team that's just as confident, just like we were talking about the center for St. Mary's talking a little smack. I think the Cornell center was basically saying something along the same line. We expect to win. We don't expect to lose. And we think if we play our basketball, we can win it. So I think there's a lot of confidence coming from Cornell as well, man.
We're going to have to see about that one because I don't see. I hear you. Cornell, I do. They play well, but I just don't see them beating Kentucky.
Yeah, having said all that, I do have to go ahead and agree with you. I think Kentucky, Cornell, you slow it down a little bit. You play, to their strengths where, they have a strong inside game. Yeah, they do well. But going against somebody with, the talent, the athleticism that Kentucky has, they're going to race up and down the court. And they're going to unleash the dogs on them. I don't think that Cornell really has a shot. And I don't think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be another game Kentucky wins going away. So got to go with Kentucky in that one.
And that was dope. That is wild. Kentucky, everybody probably got it marked down on your book. Your bracket, excuse me. And now you're saying it. Kentucky. We'll see. I'm gonna ride Washington.
Oh wow! You upset winning the big tournament?
I'm gonna ride Washington all the way to the Big Dance.
You got to win in it all?
I said we're gonna go to the Big Dance. I said we're gonna win it.
Who you think is gonna win it all?
Ooh, I had to let the people know.
You're going to have to, that's called a radio tease, man. You did a crowd like that. I heard that was. Since you're doing radio tease, it's 404live.com. We're coming live via Skype. And if you want to be on Skype, hit it up at 404-549-6241. Hey, thank y'all for checking us out. We up out of here.
Peace.
You're listening to International Radio 404live.com от 404 до 095.